Hello students. So in the previous class we learnt about the theory of annuity, and in today's class let us solve the problems under annuity. Now here under annuity we have few variety of problems which we are supposed to learn. So let us start with the first question. The first question is, find the sum of an immediate annuity consisting of 6 annual payments of rupees 200 if the rate of interest is 5% per annum. So this is the immediate annuity that which has to be paid, and so let us write down what all are the given values or given information. So given our annuity should be rupees 200 and the interest is 5%, which is 5 by 100. So in this we are supposed to take the percentage format and the simplest format of it, and then the number of payments, that is n, is equal to 6. So they are asking us the amount or the sum of the total annuity. So we are going to pay 6 annual payments. So 6 years we are going to pay 200 rupees for the rate of interest of 5% per annum. Now, in this problem, the annuity is paid at the end of the year. How do we recognize that? Is by reading the question properly. Find the sum of an immediate annuity consisting of 6 annual payments, which means after 1 year they are going to pay the amount. Since it is 6 annual payment, on completion of a year only they will be paying the amount. So that is 6 annual payments. So therefore this is a problem. We shall give that in a note here. So therefore the annuity is payable at the end of the period. After 1 full year they are going to pay the amount. Now as per our formula, if the annuity is paid at the end of the year, the formula goes like this, that is a is equal to a by I into 1 plus I to the power n minus 1. So this is the formula. Now let us apply all the numbers that we have. A is 200 divided by I is 0.05. 1 plus I is 0.05 to the power n is 6 minus 1. Okay, so let us simplify this format. So 200 divided by 0.05 will give us 4000 into 1.05 to the power 6 minus 1. So now we have to calculate 1.05 to the power 6, which will give us 1.34 minus 1, and then 4000 into 0.34, and then rupees 1360. So this is the amount of annuity, the total annuity amount, where they have been paying for 6 annuals or for 6 years 200 rupees at the rate of 5% interest. So therefore the sum of annuity is rupees 1360. This is the final answer. Okay, I hope everybody has understood this question. Now moving on to the next question. Find the amount of an annuity of rupees 800 payable at the end of each year for 5 years if the rate of interest is 6% effective. So here the rate of interest is 6% and the number of payments is 5 years and 800 is the annuity amount, and this clearly states that it is payable at the end of each year. So which means this problem is also the annuity at the end of the year, which is similar to the previous problem. So let us write down what all is given to us. A, that is annuity amount is 800, and then I, which is 6%, is nothing but 0.06, and then the number of payments or number of years is 5 years, and we are supposed to find out the total amount. So again, this annuity is payable at the end of the period. So what is the formula? A is equal to A by I into 1 plus I to the power n minus 1. So A is 800 by 0.06 into 1 plus 0.06 to the power 5 minus 1. So let us simplify the value here. So which is equal to 13,333.33. How did I get this? 800 divided by 0.06. Then 1.06 to the power 5 minus 1. 133.33 into 1.3382 minus 1. 13333.33 into 0.3382. So therefore the amount will be rupees 4,509. So this is the annuity amount that is required answer. I hope everybody is clear with this question. Now these were the questions with end of the period. Now let us go to the next question and understand how to solve this. Okay, now this question is also for the end of the period, but the change in this question, let us read the question to understand that once. Find the amount of annuity if payment of rupees 300 is made at the end of every half year for 2 years at the rate of 10% compounded half yearly. So this is not one full year computation. This is for half year computation. Okay. So here they're asking us to find the amount of where the payment is of the annuity payment is of 300, but that payment is made at every half yearly. It's not for the one whole year. So let us define what all is given to us. So given annuity amount is 800, interest is 6%, sorry, annuity amount is 300, right? It's not 800. So annuity amount is 300, interest is 10%, but compounded half yearly. So 10 by 2, which will be 5%, that is nothing but 0.05. And when it comes to number of years, it is 2 years, but it is compounded half yearly since we are supposed to multiply with 2, which will be 4. And then we have to find out the amount. And in this problem, annuity is payable Annuity is payable at the end of the period, because it clearly mentioned at the end of every half year for 2 years. So use the same formula. A is equal to A by I into 1 plus R to, sorry, 1 plus I to the power 1 plus I to the power n minus 1. So A is 300, divide 300 divided by 0.05 into 1 plus 0.05 to the power 4 minus 1. Okay, so let us simplify these values. So we will be getting 6000 into 1.05 to the power 4 minus 1. So 6000 into 6000 into 0.21551. So therefore, the annuity amount will be 1293. So here, what is important is that these values, because it is compounded half yearly, you have to be careful with the values that you are considering. So this is our next problem. In all of these problems, we computed annuity at the end of the period. Now, moving on to the next problem. Suppose you deposit rupees 2500 at the beginning of every year. Excuse me. Suppose you deposit 2500 at the beginning of every year for 6 years in a recurring bank deposit at 6% compound interest. What will be your amount in the deposit at the end of 6 years? Now here you have to understand the question carefully. You are investing 2500 rupees every year at the beginning of the year. Let's say suppose you are investing in Jan. Okay, for 6 years you are investing. Now since this is in the beginning of the year, there is a interest, compound interest, that is being given on a recurring deposit. Recurring deposit means every year you will keep, or every month you keep putting the money, you keep depositing money into the bank account, into the RD account, okay, where they will give you the interest for that money you have deposited over a period of time. So here, this recurring deposit is at 6% compound interest, and it has been paid for 6 years. So 6 long years the RD is being considered. Fine. Now we are supposed to find out the values at the beginning. Now, what are they asking us? Let's read that first. What will be your amount in the deposit at the end of 6 years? So, for 6 years, if we have kept the money and if they have given the interest in the starting of the year, then what is the total amount that we will be having for the 6 years? So, that is the important question. Now let us define what all is given to us. Okay, so solution, what all is given to us is annuity is 2500 every year we are going to get it, and then number of years is 6 years, and then the rate of interest, that is I is 6%, which is 0.06. So for beginning of the year, the formula is changed in annuity, which is nothing but A is equal to A by I into 1 plus I to the power n minus 1, just the changes, multiply this 1 plus I. So a by I is 2500 divided by 0.06 into 1 plus I is 0.06, to the power n is 6 minus 1. Again multiply it with 1 plus I is 0.06. So first major important thing is we have to write here the annuity is payable at the beginning of the period. Okay, annuity is payable at the beginning of the period, so that has to be written here. Please write that note here before you start the problem. Now let us simplify this annuity problem. So if you see here, 2500 divided by 0.06 will give me 41,000.666, and then this will become 1.06 to the power 6 minus 1 into 1.06. So let us simplify this in the next page. So here 40, okay, let me change the color. So it will be 41,666.666, okay, into 1.06 to the power 6 minus 1, and then 1.06. Okay, so 41,666.666. So this is going to be 1.41852 minus 1 into 1.06. So 41,666.666. Here it will become 0.41852 into 1.06. So therefore the amount is going to be rupees 18,484.63. So this is going to be the amount totally. Now, since it is in the beginning of the year, the only change in the formula is multiplying this 1 plus I at the end of the formula. Now, if it is at the end of the period, the formula only will be for this. And now, since it's the beginning of the year, the formula should be multiplied with 1 plus n. So, at the end of the sixth year, the recurring deposit will have 18,483 rupees 0.63 paisa. So this will be the answer for this complete question. I hope everybody understood. Now moving on to the next question. Such questions on sinking fund can be asked. Okay, so this is one of the important questions, so please concentrate and understand this very well. In order to purchase machinery after 4 years, a company requires rupees 1 lakh. Find how much should be invested in a sinking fund. Okay, how much should be invested in a sinking fund semi-annually. So half yearly, they're asking half yearly how much we have to invest. Okay, on which the fund pays 8% compound interest per annum. So here, what is the reason of saving the money? To purchase the machinery. So to purchase machinery, we are saving money, and after 4 years, the company will require 1 lakh rupees. So we are supposed to find out that saving of money is put into sinking fund, and we are supposed to find out how much should be invested in that sinking fund. Now sinking fund is the money or the fund which is created to save some money from the profit, which can be used later when in emergency. So this sinking fund is invested semi annually. Okay, it's not for 1 year, but it is every 6 months they are gonna invest the amount into the sinking fund, on which they are gonna pay 8% interest. Okay, so let us start the solution. Now here, to have rupees 1 lakh at the end of fourth year, the company starts investing in the sinking fund from the beginning of first 6 months. Therefore, it is a case of annuity due, which means we are considering the beginning of the year. Okay, beginning of the year we are considering. So therefore, what will be our formula become? We have to multiply 1 plus I with the formula that we write. So what all is given to us? We have the amount. The amount is gonna be, we have the amount which is gonna be 1 lakh, and then n is 4 years. Since it is paid semi annually, it will be 4 into 2, which is equal to 8. Okay, and the rate of interest also, since it is 8%, divided by 2, which is 4%, which will be 0.04. So that is the value here. So let us put the formula and simplify. So in the formula, since this is a sinking fund and it is invested in the it is invested semi-annually, which means from the first beginning of the year only they are going to invest. So here the formula will be A is equal to small a divided by I into 1 plus I to the power n minus 1 into 1 plus I. Okay, so a by so we know the amount here, that is 1 lakh. We don't know a, so we'll write it as it is. Divided by I is 0.04 into 1 plus 0.04 to the power n is 8 minus 1 into 1 plus 0.04. Then 1 lakh is equal to, okay, what we can do here is we can directly take this 0.04 and multiply with 1 lakh. So you'll have 1 lakh into 0.04 is equal to a into 1.04 to the power 8 minus 1 into 1 plus 1.04. So 10,000, sorry, 1 lakh into 0.04 will be 4,000 is equal to A into 1.36857 minus 1 into 1.04. So 4,000 is equal to A into 0.36857 into 1.04. Then in the next step, 4,000 is equal to A into 0.38331. Okay, how did I get this 38331? I multiplied 0.36857 into 1.04. That will give us 38331. Now A is equal to 4,000 divided by 0.38331. That will give us the annuity amount. So let us find out. So small a is equal to 4000 divided by 0.38331 is equal to our annuity amount. Our annuity amount is rupees 10,435.42. So if we invest 10,435.42 every half yearly, we will be able to have a sinking fund of 1 lakh rupees at the required or at the given rate. So this sinking fund can be utilized to either purchase a machinery, or purchase new plant or building, or any important thing that is required for the company will be taken care of in this uh, annuity. Okay, so that is the next problem. Now, moving on to the next question. A man takes loan for 8 lakh rupees to be paid off in 20 years, but equal to be paid off in 20 years by equal annual payments, that is by EMI. If the interest rate is 5% compounded annually, what will it be? What amount will be required to pay each year? So they're asking us to find out how to find out the EMI, or how much is the payment that we are supposed to do every year. Okay, so first we will see what is given to us and we'll write down what is given to us. So solution, what is given to us is loan to be repaid. How much is the amount we have to repay? He is supposed to repay 8 lakh rupees, which will become the present value of the amount. And then the number of years that is taken is 20 years, and the percentage of interest is 5%, which is nothing but 0.05. And we don't know what will be the annuity amount. So since we are supposed to find out the every year amount, so we will be finding out the annuity. So we'll consider the present value um, formula here. So P is equal to A by I into 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus I to the power n. Okay, let me rewrite this a little. 1 minus 1 by I, sorry, 1 plus I don't know, this is acting a little weird today, to the power n. Okay, so this is the formula. Now here we know the P value, that is going to be 8 lakh rupees, is equal to A, we don't know, divided by I is 0.05, and then 1 minus 1 divided by 1 plus I is again 0.05, to the power n is 20. Okay, now let us simplify this. So 8 lakhs is equal to, so we can take 0.05 to the other side. So 8 lakhs into 0.05 is equal to A into 1 minus 1 divided by 1.05 to the power 20. Then 8 lakhs into 0.05 is 40,000 is equal to A into 1 minus 1 divided by 1.05 to the power 20 is 2.6533. Then 40,000 is equal to A into 1 minus 1 divided by 2. Okay, Wait a second. Now, this valuation of 1 divided by 2.6533 will give me 0.3769. So, in the next step, 40,000 is equal to A into 0.6231. So A is equal to 40,000 divided by 0.6231 is equal to rupees 64,195. So to clear the loan, they are supposed to pay 64,195 every year. So every year to clear the loan of 8 lakhs for over 20 years, they are supposed to clear the loan of clear the loan by paying the installment of 64,195. So this is the next type of question whenever they are asked for loan calculations. Okay, since here the present value is being considered, so we don't consider if the annuity is at the beginning of the year or end of the year. Okay, now moving on to the next question. A man desires to create a scholarship fund which generates 1,000 per annum, reckoning interest being 10% per annum compound. Find the amount of the fund to be invested if such scholarship is to be awarded, if it is done at the end of the period or at the beginning of the period. Now here, this is the first question, that is at the end of the period is the first question, and at the beginning of the period is the second question. Okay, so we are supposed to find out two different things here. Firstly, at the end of the period or at the beginning of the period. Now, if you see here, let's read the question once again. A man desires to create scholarship fund which generates rupees 1,000 per annum. So this, there is this 1,000 rupees which is being generated per annum with the reckoning interest of 10% per annum. So they want to give scholarship, so they are creating a fund for the scholarship where amount will be given to the people. So the annuity, so every year the students will be getting 1,000 rupees. They are asking us to find out the total amount. Okay, so firstly, if it is at the end of each period, now when it is a scholarship, it will go on and on and on. So here, this is the case of perpetual annuity. Perpetual annuity means there is no end for it. It goes on and on and on. So that is perpetual annuity. Now, how do we decide perpetual annuity? Look at the scenario in the question. So he is desiring to have a scholarship. So even after that person dies, from the scholarship fund, they can keep giving the amount. So that is the indication that this problem is a perpetual annuity problem. So let us start solving this. So this is a case of perpetual annuity. And what all have they given to us? Given is annuity is 1,000 rupees and number of years is for infinity. It just goes on. There is no end. So number of years is infinity. And what is the interest? 10%, which is nothing but 0.1. So that is the time period. Now, if we consider that the scholarship is being awarded at the end of each period, then annuity is due for the first scenario at the end of the year. and the formula for the perpetual annuity is A by I. Okay, so A is 1000 divided by I is 0.1 or 0.10. So the amount that has to be there in the scholarship fund to give it also to the students at the end of the year, they are supposed to have 10,000 rupees. Okay, and this is for only 1 year. Okay, why? Because every year we'll keep paying, and it will be for the n number of years, for forever, if, since it is going on paying. So that is why we are always supposed to maintain, or we are always supposed to have the amount of 10,000 in our scholarship fund. So this is for the annuity which is due at the end of the year. Now let us also find out the annuity at the beginning of the year. So annuity at the beginning of the year. Now for this we have another formula, which is A is equal to A by I into 1 plus I. So if you multiply 1 plus I, that means it is beginning of the year. So 1000 divided by 0.10 into 1 plus 0.10, which will be 1000 by 0.10 is 10,000 into 1.1. Therefore, A is equal to rupees 11,000. So, if at all they are paying at the beginning of the year the scholarship, then they are supposed to have 11,000 rupees in the scholarship fund. If they are paying at the end of the period, they can have 10,000 rupees for the in the scholarship fund. So, this is another way of finding out the annuity, that is perpetual annuity. So these are the types of problems that you can expect in the examination. Okay, so I hope everybody have understood all of these problems here. Now this completes our chapter interest and annuities. Okay, so here we have completed all that has been asked for us to solve as per the syllabus, with simple interest, compound interest, annuity, and in that sinking fund everything is being covered up. So this is interest and annuities, and we are left with only one chapter, that is logical reasoning, which will be where the videos will be sent very soon. Okay, thank you students.